You ever notice how every year there's the one pistol everybody swears by? Some king of the hill that's untouchable? But here's the truth. 2025 ain't playing by those rules. Guns are showing up right now that ain't just hanging in the fight, they're beating everybody. Doesn't matter if it's old plastic favorites, fancy safe queens, or the so-called legends. These irons are walking straight in and taking names. This ain't hype. It ain't fanboy gospel. It's what happens when steel, sweat, and smart design collide and leave the competition in the dust. Some of these pistols you've heard whispers about, others are still crawling under the radar. But make no mistake, they're landing blows hard enough to shake thrones and piss off the proud. So saddle up, we're counting down the handguns in 2025 that ain't just good, they're flat out beating everybody else. I never meant to like this gun. I mean, it's a Springfield with a name longer than a college thesis, XDM Elite Tactical OSP 4.5 inch. Sounds like someone tried to win a Scrabble game mid-design. And yes, I've trashed Springfields before, and deservingly so. But this one, good God, this one shut me the hell up. The first time I shot it, I remember thinking, okay, it's big, whatever. But halfway through the first mag, I stopped caring about the name because it shot like a gun that's done pretending. The recoil is flat, like pancake flat. You get that perfect bore axis, chunky grip, and weight combo that just eats up snap. Trigger, way cleaner than it should be. And the magwell, that flared funnel means you can reload blind and still look like you meant to do it. I've run the gun suppressed, I've run it with optics, I've dumped max through it until the slide felt like a hot skillet, and it didn't stutter even once. It's not dainty or cute, it's just that dude. Would I carry it? Probably not, unless I'm going full battle belt, but if I had to show up somewhere and prove a point, this is the gun I'd grab when I don't want to argue. It's not tactical cosplay, it's not range toy bling, it's just serious, and sometimes that's all a gun really needs to be. Silence tells the truth. That's what hit the room when the target rolled back, chewed center, hole stacked so tight you could cover him with a nickel. The Glock boys froze. Some cleared their throats, others forced a laugh, but you could see it in their eyes. They knew. See, the Glock 43X and 48 were supposed to own that slimline crown. Perfect balance, perfect carry, that's what they preached, beat into every forum, every range bench like gospel. Then, the X-Macro walked in, slim as a whisper, but carrying more rounds than their plastic prince ever dreamed of. And worse, it ran clean, dead steady, no stumble, no choke. That's why the noise came after. Too gimmicky, they barked. Capacity don't matter. Pride talking, not proof. If the X macro was nothing, they shrug it off, but they don't. They argue, they sweat, they try to talk over the paper that don't lie. And that's the wound that won't heal. Their perfect Glock carry just got outshot, outmatched, and outdone by a pistol they swore didn't belong in the fight. And if a slim little Sig can drag their pride out this far, the next pistol's gonna bury it whole. I did not want to like this gun, I really didn't, because on paper, it's trying way too hard. Mete SFX Pro sounds like a gaming laptop and not something you trust your life with. And the first time I saw one, flat dark earth frame, massive slide cut, optic ready. I thought, cool, another range toy pretending it's a duty gun. Then I shot it, and everything I thought I knew about Canic just went quiet. The trigger? Absolutely criminal. No business being this clean out of the box. The reset? Telepathic, like the gun knew I was about to press again and beat me to it. And the accuracy? I stacked rounds at 25 yards like it was a 22. I've got a buddy in San Angelo who's a USPSA junkie who swears by this thing. Said it beats his tricked out CZ in split times, and I called him a liar for that until I tried it out myself, and now I shut up when he talks. It's big, yeah. You're not shuffling this in your waistband unless you're built like a linebacker, but for a range gun, competition setup, or even home defense, this thing hits like a truck and doesn't ask for permission. The only downside though, it's too good for the price. You start questioning your $1,000 pistols and you wonder why you spent all that cash when a Turkish import just lapped your custom Glock. I used to joke about Canik, and now I whisper Mente like it's a confession. Too pricey, too damn fancy, over-engineered Euro trash. That's the racket Glock boys make the second the VP9SK hits the bench. They bark before a round's even fired, like yelling loud enough might change the paper. That's the tell. Men don't scream that hard unless something's already gone under their skin. Truth is, this little HK already cut them. Trigger breaks smoother than their so-called perfection, recoil stays flatter, and the target don't lie. Hole stacked tight where their compact Glock 26 sprays wide. They can't stand it, so they talk louder, pride in panic mode. I've watched them twist themselves in knots, saying aftermarket don't matter, capacity don't matter, hell, nothing matters except that their king stays on top. But their hands betray them. They keep glancing at that paper, jaw tight, like it just called them a liar in front of the crowd. That's why they hate it, not because it failed, but because it showed them up. A compact Glock was supposed to be untouchable, and this little German iron just proved otherwise. And if that small VP9SK can drag them down this far, the next pistol's gonna bury their throne in the dirt. Look, I rolled my eyes from this one too. Turkish guns, usually either way too flashy or way too cheap. The SAR 9 sat in that weird middle ground. It looked like a Glock, felt like a CZ, and priced like it got confused at checkout. I never took it seriously. Then one day, a buddy in Dallas threw his SAR 9 compact on the bench and said, "Shoot it, no opinions, just shoot." So I did, and now I'm mad. The grip melted into my hand better than my shadow systems. The trigger, not amazing, but better than half the striker-fired junk people pretend is premium. Recoil, barely there. Like the gun's embarrassed to let you know it's working. And here's the kicker. The thing just runs. Cheap steel case? Fine. Hollow points? Fine. Dirty? Doesn't care. I put 700 rounds through it in 2 weekends, and not once did it ever complain, fail, or even feel warm. I've dropped this gun, loaned it to a guy who doesn't clean his guns, ever. I've carried it in an off-brand holster shoved into a center console, and it still shoots like it's fresh out of the box. It's not tactical or trendy, and nobody's flexing it on Instagram, but every time I take it to the range, I walk away wondering why I keep spending $800 on guns that don't shoot this good. I don't love that it's Turkish, and I don't love that I like it, but I'd be lying if I said it hasn't earned its place. This one's personal. I still remember the first time I saw a P99 in a gun magazine. Blacked out, futuristic, looking like something a German spy would keep under his jacket. Then Bond used it, and then everyone just forgot about it. But not me. I've had a soft spot for this gun for years. Striker fired, but with a DASA setup? It was weird, but it worked. And that AS trigger? Man, nothing else felt like it. Long pull, crisp wall, and then that glass break. Once you get used to it, going back to a flat Glock trigger feels like typing on a broken keyboard. The P99 was never a cool gun, not in the United States. You'd see it collecting dust in gun shops while everyone lined up for polymer Glocks and red dot ready clones. But if you knew what it was, you knew. And then Walther announced the final edition, and my heart sank because I knew what that meant. The last of its kind. No more weird genius, no more ergonomic alien grip. Just the end. I bought one immediately, not because it's the best gun in 2025, because it's not, but it's one of the last guns that ever felt different and didn't care. The P99 never chased trends, and now that it's leaving, suddenly everyone's realizing what we're losing. If you don't own one yet, go get yourself one. Not for resale, not for clout. Get it because it's the kind of gun that reminds you guns used to have soul. This gun was never supposed to make my list. I bought it on a whim. Used, scratched to hell, no box, one mag, and I swear the guy selling it to me looked at me like I was an idiot. I didn't even want it. I just didn't want to walk out of that gun show empty-handed. And now it's one of the few guns I'll never sell. The first time I took it to the range, it didn't just shoot well, it embarrassed everything else on the table. Glocks, SIGs, fancy compacts, they all felt like toys after that. The recoil? Gone. The weight soaks it up. The slide rides inside the frame like it's glued to the rails. It's like the gun just wants to stay flat. It's got that old school, all steel Eastern Bloc stubbornness. You can feel it in your hand. It's heavy, it's outdated, it looks like it was designed by a Soviet engineer in a leather trench coat, and I love it for that. The decocker setup? Flawless. The trigger and double action? Meh. But that single action follow-up? Clean, crisp, and addicting. You fire one shot and immediately want to send out 5 more. It's that kind of shooter. This thing's my cold weather carry when I don't care about weight or printing. And if I had to pick one gun to shoot for accuracy under pressure, this might be it. The only people who hate on this gun are the ones who've never shot it. Yes, I can already hear you guys coming. A budget 1911 in 9mm? Really? Trust me, I laugh too. I've seen enough cheap 1911s to fill a scrap pile. Loose lights, gritty triggers, rails that look like they were machined with a spoon, and when I heard T-sauce, I thought, great, another imported steel boat anchor with dreams of glory. Then I shot one, and suddenly I shut up. This thing doesn't look like it's cheap. The slide to frame fit? Tight. Trigger? Clean break with barely a wiggle, and the recoil in 9mm is just plain fun, like stupid fun, like I didn't mean to empty the whole mag fun. I had a friend bring one to the range down in Corpus, and I was ready to roast it. I even had jokes lined up for it, but 3 mags in, I was asking what holster he was running. That's how fast it flipped me. Don't get me wrong, it's still a Turkish 1911. It's not winning any beauty contests, and the finish will probably wear faster than your patience at the DMV. But mechanically, this thing punches way above its price tag. I've had $1,200 1911s choke harder than this did on the worst ammo in my stash. If you've ever wanted to run a 1911 without selling a kidney, or you just want to see what a steel frame 9mm can really feel like when it's done right, don't sleep on this T-sauce. I didn't expect to like it, and now I can't stop talking about it. This one? Oh god, this one's personal. The Ruger American pistol was that gun I kept trying to like. I wanted it to succeed. American made, priced right, from a company that's never pretended to be fancy, just good old-fashioned function. But back when it dropped, it landed with a thud. Nobody talked about it, nobody wanted to shoot it. It felt like a rental gun at a range that nobody asked for. The grip was bulky, the trigger was mushy, and let's be honest, it looked like it got hit with a generic stick. I almost wrote it off until I actually ran one for a few weeks. It changed my mind, slowly but surely. Recoil management, way better than it looks. The bore axis feels high, but it doesn't shoot like it. That weird trigger? predictable after the second mag, and the slide cuts, grip texture, even the mag release, all just quietly worked. It's still ugly, don't get me wrong. Still feels like it was designed by a committee in a fluorescent lit office, but I've shot guns twice the price that didn't run this smooth. My neighbor, a former sheriff's deputy out in Lubbock, swears by his. Says it's the only striker-fired pistol he's never had to replace springs in. Carried it for 4 years before even thinking about a cleaning. The Ruger American pistol isn't trendy or sleek, but it doesn't fail. And in a world full of optics, upgrades, and overpriced clones, that's kind of beautiful. I'm just gonna come out and say it. I've always had a thing for Israeli guns. Call it bias, call it whatever, but they've earned that spot. Built for sand, sweat, and actual conflict, not just polished Instagram posts. The Masada Slim? That one surprised even me. I picked it up expecting it to be just another micro compact. You know the type. Thin slide, snappy recoil, boring trigger. But the Masada Slim didn't play that game. First mag, I was already smiling. Second mag, I was mad I hadn't tried it sooner. The slide tracks clean, the recoil impulse is weirdly flat, the trigger, not fancy, but honestly, it breaks when you need it to. It felt like someone built it for people who actually shoot and not just carry. And the optic cut? It's done right. Deep, secure, none of that flimsy adapter plate nonsense. It made my Hellcat Pro look like it came from a cereal box. The guy I shoot with in Amarillo switched to this from his Shield Plus. He said he didn't want to like it either, but it ran every range trip. No drama, no quirks, just solid performance. This isn't a gun people brag about, and it doesn't need to be. The Masada Slim doesn't care about flash, it just works like most Israeli things do, and I respect the hell out of that. I used to think the Beretta 92 was just a nostalgia gun, something your dad's cop buddy carried in the 90s and never shut up about it. Big, heavy, and clunky. The kind of pistol that looked good in movies but felt like a brick in real life. But then I tried the 92X RDO and all my old opinions just crumbled. Because this thing isn't a relic, it's a resurrection. Same iconic open slide design, sure, but with modern muscle, improved trigger, better checkering, and optics ready. It's like Beretta finally admitted they were stuck in the past and said, okay, let's show them we still know how to fight. But I'll be real with y'all, I didn't want to like it. It's still big, it still rattles just a bit when you shake it, and yep, it's got that weird safety to conquer thing that drives me nuts. But the first time I ran a mag through it, clean, fast, locked in. And the recoil impulse? Butter. Like the gun's been training in secret all these years and came back sharper. My friend in Lubbock carries this in a duty rig and I made fun of him for it. Called it vintage cosplay. But he just smiled and outshot everyone on the line. And now I shut up whenever the Beretta comes out. I'm not saying that it's perfect, but if you ever dismiss the 92 as a museum piece like I did once, the 92X RDO is here to slap you in the face and prove you wrong. I wanted to love this gun. Grew up around the old school Browning high power, steel frame, single action, beautiful lines. It felt like holding history. So when Effin brought it back, I was sold before I even saw it. Then I held it. Bigger, bulkier, heavier. The slide felt like it was designed by a committee. The grip, chunkier than the original, but somehow less alive. Like a tribute that forgot why the original mattered. I almost walked away, but then I shot it. And that's where things got weird, because this thing shoots. The recoil, flat and easy to control. Trigger, not match grade, but reliable. Reset, clean, and it eats ammo like it's trying to prove something. My buddy, a 1911 snob, ran 3 mags through it and didn't say a word. He just nodded, and that's how I knew. Do I still think it's oversized for what it is? Yes, sirree. Do I think Effen's cashing in on nostalgia? Oh, absolutely. But it works, and too well, I might add. And now, every time I hit the range, I end up bringing it just to remind myself why I'm mad. Because the effing high power doesn't care about your feelings, it just does its job, and sometimes that's the scariest kind of good. Now here's the truth. I didn't expect anything from this gun. It's a metal-framed striker pistol from Rock Island. That alone sounds like a weird science experiment, but the second I shot it, I had to admit, it works. The weight gives it that dead-in-hand feel you don't get from other polymer guns. The recoil is muted. Follow-up shots? Easy. The trigger? Surprisingly crisp for the price. Is it flashy? Nope. Does it feel like it's punching above its class? Absolutely. It's like that quiet kid in school who suddenly outruns the entire track team. You don't hear much about the STK 100, but maybe that's the point. No hype, no fanfare, just results.
Hate it all you want, the scoreboard don't lie. In 2025, these pistols are walking off winners while the so-called legends eat crow. That's the sting Glock boys and fanboys everywhere can't shake. So tell me, which ones earn your trust and which ones just hot air? Drop it in the comments. I'll be right there with you. I'm Steve, and remember, bragging rights fade, but steel that beats everybody keeps on talking. See you in the next one.